What's going on YouTube? It's the kid Gowie back with another player comparison video. Now before we get started, be sure to press that thumbs up button. I know a lot of you always ask,
why doesn't this man have 1 million subscribers?
well, if you press that thumbs up button, that will help with the YouTube algorithm and more people will come to the channel to view the content. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to press the subscribe button so you can join our big happy family. Now that we got that out of the way, it's time to get into the content in which you came for. After posting my first player comparison video about Bronny James, a lot of you started requesting that I do Mikey Williams. So without further ado, here we go. Now, right off the bat, one of the first things that you notice about Mikey Williams is his athleticism. Now, I don't know what his official vertical jump is, but I know that it ranges between 35 to 40 inches. Now, first and foremost, I don't know what type of genetics these kids have these days, but when I was 15, 16, I was barely grabbing net in high school. But anyway, Mikey is a player who loves to play above the rim. The good thing about Mikey is that even though he averages 30 points a game, he never hesitates to use his athleticism on the defensive end of the floor. Now, in my personal opinion, Mikey's defense reminds me a lot like James Harden's.
What are you talking about? James Harden doesn't play defense.
Wrong. James Harden actually does play good defense. When he chooses to. The thing about James Harden is that he isn't the best perimeter defender. Once you blow past him, you're past him. And I see a lot of that when it comes to Mikey. But for those who may not know, James Harden is actually second overall amongst shooting guards in total blocks. He's also third overall, period, in total steals this season. Which, once again, are some similarities that I see in Mikey. The good thing about Mikey is that even though I don't believe he's a good perimeter defender, he's a great help defender. He plays the passing lanes well. When he comes over in double teams, there's a good chance he's going to poke that ball free. And if he's in the post and one of his teammates is being taken to the rack, oh, he's going to take off like a rocket and send that to the stands. Now, when it comes to dunk packages, I don't know why I'm talking like this is NBA 2K, but though he has the jumping ability of a pro dunker, he doesn't really get flashy with his dunks. He's more like a power-based dunker like a Russell Westbrook or a LeBron James. Next is shooting ability. Mikey's a pretty good shooter, and one thing you can't allow this kid to do is get his feet set at the top of the arc or on the wing. Now, for some odd reason, you're only able to see how many three-pointers Mikey made this season, but you're not able to see how many he attempted. So it's hard to kind of decide on how good he actually is from three-point range, but in my personal opinion, I don't feel like he's going to kill you from three unless he's really locked in. For example, in his 77-point game against Kearney, yes, 77 points. He knocked down 9 three-pointers that game, which means if he were to shoot a poor percentage during the season, you know for a fact that he can knock that shot down. Even with his ability to shoot the three ball, we all know that Mikey's bread and butter is inside scoring. If there's one thing that you need to learn about Mikey, is that he's going to get to that rack no matter what. It doesn't matter who's in there, how tall you are, how big you are, he does not care. He's going in there and he's going to try to put it on your head. Mikey is fearless, and to go along with that fearlessness is his aggression. If he sees just the slightest opening, he is going to try to posterize you. So to any high school player who may have Mikey's team on your schedule, keep your ass out the paint, please. Because your ass gonna end up on SportsCenter for all the wrong reasons. Now, even though it's kinda embarrassing to admit this, but Mikey and I are the same exact size. We're both 6'2", 180 pounds. But the difference between him and I is that I'm a grown-ass man, and he's only 16 years old, so he still has plenty of time to grow and to get even stronger. So if this kid is already trying to posterize every single person at 6'2", 180, imagine how crazy it's going to be if he's 6'5", 210. Defenders are going to start swarming out of the paint as if he was Shaquille O'Neal sprinting towards the bench for a loose ball. To go along with his inside scoring, I believe this next trait is Mikey's strongest trait, and that's his ability to absorb contact. Like I previously stated, Mikey is afraid of no one. He's going to get to that basket no matter what. And basically, if you're somebody that's going to attack the rack, you automatically expect contact. Mikey has great concentration when it comes to absorbing contact. His athleticism allows him to hang in the air a little longer than the average person, so he can adjust his shot and still get one off before he hits the ground. It doesn't matter which direction he's shooting from. It could be straight ahead, he could be floating out of bounds. Mikey's still going to get that shot off to try to get the three-point play. Now, the only downfall with this trait, and we see this often with James Harden, is that sometimes those calls aren't called. So trying to absorb that contact can sometimes lead to inefficient shots. Since Mikey is a young prolific scorer, his coaches just send him out there and tell him to do work. I mean, what else can you tell a kid that's scoring 30 points a game? Once Mikey gets older and he starts getting more training from different trainers and coaches, I feel like his shot selection is going to be much more polished and he'll be more dangerous. And last but not least is the most underrated part of Mikey's game, and that's second chance scoring. As I previously stated, Mikey does have some inefficient shots when he's attacking the paint. But the great thing about Mikey is that he does not give up on the play. If he happens to brick anything inside that paint, there's a good possibility that he's going to be the first one to clean up the mess. Once again, this shows his aggression. He doesn't care who's down there or what size you are. He's going to go down there and try to clean up and get second chance points. Come on now, you think this man averages 30 points a game just by being a pure bucket? Nah, this man cleans up the glass as well. But without further ado, now it's time for the player comparison. Similar to my Bronny James video, there were a few names that floated around when I thought about Mikey. One of the names that came to mind was Russell Westbrook, a high-scoring athletic guard who fears absolutely no one. What made me stay away from this pick is that Russell Westbrook is an overall facilitator. And not to say that Russell Westbrook can't shoot the three ball, but I feel like I wouldn't be giving Mikey much justice if I said they shot it at a similar rate. Next, it was Bradley Beal, another athletic guard but has a much more polished jump shot. What kept me away from this pick is that Bradley Beal was a polished jump shooter from all around the floor, mid-range, deep, and in close. And at this very moment, I don't think Mikey is there, but there is still room for growth. With that being said, I feel like the NBA player that Mikey Williams is the most comparable to, Dion Waiters.
Dion Waiters.
Now, hear me out. I know a lot of y'all probably like,
Nah, bro, you trying to play Mikey right now.
but that's not the case whatsoever. Dion Waiters is actually a good basketball player. Unfortunately, his NBA career derailed after sustaining a few injuries. Don't forget, back in high school, Dion Waiters placed 15th on the ESPN Top 100. And that class actually has some quality talent, some in which are still in the NBA today, like Harrison Barnes, Kyrie Irving, Tobias Harris, Will Barton, Tristan Thompson, Terrence Ross, Myers Leonard, and even Tim Hardaway Jr. Let's also not forget that Dion Waiters was drafted 4th overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, his career may not have been anything to gloat about with the Cavaliers, but when he went to the Miami Heat, he took the team on a 23-5 win streak, which then led to him signing a 4-year, $52 million contract. So don't get it twisted, Dion Waiters is not a slight to Mikey Williams. Both players use their athleticism on both sides of the floor. Both are absolutely fearless when attacking the paint. Both are really good three-point shooters, especially at the top of the arc and on the wing. Both of them absolutely love playing towards the crowd, and the list goes on. So once again, everybody, keep in mind, this is how I feel Mikey plays at this very moment. So obviously there's always room to grow. If you want my honest opinion on what I feel Mikey's ceiling is, I genuinely feel like he could be the next James Harden. The only two things Mikey would have to work on is his passing ability and his handles. But at this very moment, I feel Dion Waiters is the best comparison. With that being said, YouTube, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure, once again, you give me that thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to this channel if you aren't subscribed already. Drop a comment below on who I should do next. If you request them, I'll give them to you. Until next time. Yeah!
It's only entertainment.